Hello, YouTube community. It's Robert S. And in my channel, I would like to introduce you or perhaps reacquaint you with some lesser known artists and or albums. And today I'd like to talk to you about a group called Violent Femmes. Now, Violent Femmes is an American folk punk band that was formed in 1980 or 1981 in Wisconsin. And they released 10 studio albums and 15, believe it or not, 15 singles. I'm sure some of you are hard-pressed to name 3 or 4 songs, let alone 15 singles. But they are a band that really spoke to the teen angst and frustrations of being a teenager in the 80s. And, other bands were doing something similar. Depeche Mode, the Smiths, certainly. But Violent Femmes was more of the type of music that you kept hidden in a way. Depeche Mode and the Smiths, you could play it and your family could hear it. Violent Femmes, you sort of kept behind your back, Certainly some of the lyrics were not necessarily the type that you would want your parents to hear, and not necessarily because it was cursing involved or anything like that, but the nature of these songs somewhat perhaps embarrassing if you were there listening to it with your family. Anyway, so what I wanted to do today is really focus on one particular album of theirs, and that would be this one, their self-titled debut album, Violent Femmes. This was released in April of 1983, and I think, in my opinion, it's their best album, and it features many of their well-known songs. Blister in the Sun, Kiss Off, Add It Up, Gone Daddy Gone are all on this album. And again, when it was released, it was, I think, widely recognized as a very different type of music, and certainly it included some songs, one song in particular that would go on to really represent the Violent Femmes and become a fan favorite. And that's the lead-off track, Blister in the Sun. And you may not necessarily know the song by the name, but if you heard it, you might very, very well recognize it. It's a song that was actually used in the 1997 movie Grosse Pointe Blank with who was in that? Alan Arkin, Minnie Driver, John Cusack, and Dan Aykroyd were in that film. And I believe it was also used in the song was used in a Wendy's commercial. And, it's an interesting song, to say the least, that I believe Gordon Gano had written for a different band, a female-led band, but something happened. He ended up not giving it to them. He recorded it himself, and like I said, it went on to become a fan favorite. And certainly, this is very much appreciated whenever they do it live. It was a big hit when they played it at Coachella. The second song is called Kiss Off, and this basically starts off with sort of hushed lyrics. About 30 seconds in, it kicks off, and the lyrics are basically, well, I'll read them to you. It basically says, you can all just kiss off into the air. Behind my back, I can see them stare. They'll hurt me bad, but I won't mind. They'll hurt me bad. They do it all the time. Yeah, yeah. They do it all the time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's it's sort of a geeky misfit type song, angst song, and it's done in the style that only the Violent Femmes could do. As a matter of fact, let me turn this around so you can see the track listing. And then the next song after Kiss Off is Please Do Not Go. And this is a somewhat slower song, and it has a great bass line. And this is another song that anyone who has been in love with someone who loves someone else can relate to. Then after that is Add It Up, and again, one of their more popular songs. And I won't get into the lyrics here. This is one of those songs I was making reference to before that you don't necessarily want to play in front of your family. And this is a song that really, really speaks to teen sort of sexual frustration, if you will. But it's full of some anger, but it's fun. It's a fun listen. And then the next song after that is Confessions. And Confessions is a song that opens up with basically a nod to, or sounds very similar to Bob Dylan's song, Ballad of a Thin Man. If you're familiar with that song and then you hear Confessions, the similarities are striking. And this song has some really painful lyrics in it, and certainly it's the repeated, I'm so lonely, I'm so lonely, I'm so lonely, is something I think that many high school geeks may be able to relate to. Then the next song, Prove My Love, is again a somewhat slower song. This is about a young man trying to prove his love to a girl, basically saying, what do I need to do to prove my love to you? He'll climb the mountains and he'll cross the oceans to do anything for her. And this particular song is not, I don't think it's one of the more well-known songs, but it's certainly a song that I enjoy on this album. Next one is Promise, and Promise is probably my least favorite on this album. By the time we get to that, it sort of touches, it's similar to or somewhat repetitive in terms of the music and the themes that we've heard in the prior songs. But, not a lot I can say about it. Then the next one, which is To the Kill, this is a song that basically shows the sort of dark lyrics that the band displays in so many of their songs. And this, I had read something once that I think kind of sums it up, and that is somebody said this song is like Ferris Bueller's Day Off if Ferris dropped out of school and started doing drugs. And that pretty much sums it up. Then we get to Gone Daddy Gone. And this picks up the pace musically. Lyrically, this song is about child abduction, and it was inspired by the 1979 kidnapping of Eitan Pates in New York. But musically, it's upbeat, it's fun, it has a xylophone. I mean, if you ever wanted to hear a band rock out on xylophone, that's the song to listen to. So you get past the lyrics and listen to the fun xylophone in this one. Then we've got Good Feeling, which is actually the last song on the album proper. And Good Feeling is essentially about, that wanting to keep that good feeling, whether it's being with someone or being at a place that you enjoy. You want that joy to stay a little bit longer. And it's, again, something I think everyone can relate to. Now, this particular CD has two bonus tracks, and the first one will be Ugly. It's essentially a song about, telling somebody they're not attractive. And, not much more I can say about that. The last track is Give Me the Car. Here again, not necessarily a song you want to play, with your mom and dad next to you. Essentially, a teenager asking his dad if he can borrow the car so that he can get a girl drunk and take advantage of her. So, but whoops, this is live, folks. But anyway, so Violent Femmes, excellent debut album, probably one of the best debuts in the 1980s, certainly. If you get a chance, take a listen. And they also have some compilations. This is one of them, Added Up, 1981 to 1993. This includes, obviously, a lot of the songs on their debut album, as well as some of the songs from their subsequent albums. And their second album, Hallowed Ground, is more country flavored, but it also has some sort of like jazz, if you will, instrumentation in it. And song Country Death Song is fantastic off of that album. Again, the lyrics are depressing. It's essentially, if you want to hear a song about a backwoods, individual who slowly goes mad, Country Death Song. But again, I would encourage you to get perhaps this compilation or this one, Permanent Record, The Very Best of Violent Femmes. I'll show you that track listing. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Stay well. And remember, if the music strikes a chord, let it play.